So, today I got a pretty ambitious project. Not really. But it's something that would help a lot in the long run, just to have running in the background. And some other chores. Of course, this map here needs to be filled out a little bit more. I think I'll either go there, or we could start on this side, or we could start on the other side of the ocean. I don't know. Flip a three-headed coin or something. And I would like to move the villagers up here, but we got visitors. That's kind of making that difficult. So I got a big old box of goodies here to get us started. We'll have to build the bottom portion and then build the taller portion. That's kind of a big giveaway of what I'm trying to say I want to build here. But I was thinking, and I had a few ideas. Since this can only sort 5 items, and it's got 3 chests, it needs to be a big old bulk storage, right? And I originally planned it to be kind of just items that I'd throw into a chest or a water stream and it would figure itself out, right? But that's the problem of not going off randomly, right? It would just be until that stack was done. Then the perfect thing that I think I found would be mobs, right? They're randomly generated. They spawn, they fall, they die, right? So you get a skeleton, dies, drops 2 arrows and a bone, I guess. So it's like, right? And then you got probably won't have spiders in this one. I think the design, I'm going for the really simple design that everyone knows. And then spiders get clogged up with that, but you have like creeper. And then you got a zombie. And you got a zombie with a sword. And then you got another skeleton, right? So it's not going to be going off all the time, but it's going to be going off a little bit more randomly, I would suppose. Thanks to our wonderfully ethical cow farm there, we have plenty of leather, which means we can make iron frames. I'm showing this to you because I'm assigning very specific chests to each item, and it might not look like it makes sense. Hi! So, I was just gonna pretend like, I totally wasn't wrong and pretend I'm a genius, but I don't think I can do that. So, I was watching this at, I recorded it and I rendered it, and slapped it all together, went to upload it, and I was watching it while I was eating supper, and I realized I was just wrong. So, I don't really... I'm very passionate about music theory. I had this big tangent about music theory, and it was well put together. I was just using the wrong words, and I like music theory, and I would hate to send someone off thinking the wrong thing. Like, even though the advice at the end of the episode does kind of play into this a little bit, I just want to be correct, and if I'm gonna pretend like I'm some sort of expert in the field, I should at least be right about something, right? So, what it was this mob system. I had specific items related to specific tones in a scale. And this is kind of how people make songs, right? So an octave has 12 semitones in the entire octave. To use the entire octave, and all 12 semitones would be cloudy and noisy, and it's not very specific. You wouldn't nail one specific emotion. It would just be kind of all over the place, right? So what people do is they select specific semitones or notes out of the octave, and they select specific ones to have a specific emotion tied to those. It's very specific. That's what the scale is to be more specific, basically. The minor scale is a very safe scale. It flirts with a little bit of dissonance. It has tons of harmony. And its point is to be a little bit sad. You make sad songs with it. Not always, but that's kind of what the emotion that you portray with it. And then the pentatonic, 5-tone pentatonic, right? Penta being 5. It shaves off 2 of those 7 that the minor scale selected. The minor 6th and the perfect 2nd, I believe. Both of those are pretty dissonant. Not so much the perfect 2nd. That perfect word is going to pop up a few times here, and it basically means it's safe. It's the way I look at it is that the perfect 2nd's okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not harmonious. It's not dissonant. It's not abrasive to your ear, right? But it's not really. It doesn't make you feel comfortable. It's very neutral. It's like bread. The minor 6th is the one that's very like, it's evil. It's ooh, it's scary, and they chop that out basically so that you can be a little bit more comfortable when you play the pentatonic scale. The pentatonic scale, both minor and major, are meant to be safe. Guitar solos use systems based around the whole pentatonic scale, just so that they can randomly hit notes. Well, not randomly, but they can safely hit notes, and they just have this this foundation to work, and then flirt around with harmony and dissonance and stuff to make it to make a solo sound better. But anyways, so that's what scales are for. They're just selections of semitones in an octave, right? So once you have a selection of notes, you can use those as building blocks. You can play one note, right? Or you can play two notes to get 2 notes together. Blah, blah. Yeah, right? And you get a dyad, right? Dyad, die meaning 2. Or a triad, which is 3, right? Like a triangle. You get the 3 points. It is 3. Wow. And 4 or more notes playing together is a chord, right? And I bring all this up because specifically the pentatonic scale, or the minor pentatonic scale, will find a use for the major one. The major one's a little bit more happy. The minor pentatonic scale. Ooh, what's gross and yuck? Flesh, rotten flesh, yucky, right? Minor pentatonic scale. And we grab that scale. Instead of making a song, we're just basically making a redstone system around that, right? In the same way that they wanted a safe scale, we got that. So if you look at these, you might notice those dyads and triads are starting to pop up. You don't need to get out pen and paper or do any homework or anything. I'm going to just throw around some interval names and the emotions that are typically associated with them. But first, I just want to say you place down a note block, and your first note is an F sharp, right? So if we just leave it at F sharp and then move all the other ones up along this scale, we would be playing an F sharp minor pentatonic scale. Ooh, blah, 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 right? Words. So the 0 is your tonic, your root, right? F sharp. Then we go up 3 semitones and we get a minor third. The minor third is what's played here. Oops. I guess I'll have to replace it. But 1, 2, 3, right? And it's kind of, it's supposed to be sad, but it's more evil sad than a major third, right? But it's not really evil. I don't know. It's just a little bit dissonant. It flirts with it. Doesn't go haywire. All over the place, right? Then you have this 5 semitones above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is called a perfect 4th. Like I said, the perfect 2nd is just okay. It's like bread. The perfect 4th is good. That's how I can describe it. It's not amazing. It's just good. It's very safe. That's why it's in here. It's right smack dab in the middle. You got your perfect 4th. Very safe. And then you have 7 semitones above. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 semitones above this, or 2 semitones above this perfect 4th. You have a perfect 5th. This one is great. It's not okay like the perfect 2nd. It's not good like the perfect 4th. It's great. Dang, right? Power. Boom. And then above that, you got the minor 7th. So that's 10 semitones above the root in total, and 3 semitones, like I just showed you, above this perfect fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I play that, ding, right? Is a little bit. It's a nice treat. It's not as safe as that perfect fourth and that perfect fifth, but it's not exactly terrible, right? So if I go 1 semitone higher, it'll sound like a voice crack. Ding, right? Like that's that dissonance coming in. None of these notes are dissonant. They just flirt with them with that 3 and a little bit with that 10. Not a lot with that 10, just a teeny tiny bit. So it makes it very safe, right? So let's say we take 2 of these notes and we can emulate a skeleton dropping with a bow, right? So I get a skeleton. That's at F sharp, the 0. We need a 5 and a 10, right? Oh no, we need a 7 and a 10, right? So the arrows drop. And then chain vest drops. Right? Actually, it'd probably be more like... Right? So this is the F sharp minor pentatonic scale. Ta-da! Isn't that cute? Just to summarize, real quick, an octave is made up of 12 semitones. A scale plays through that octave at their own selection of semitones. I specifically chose the minor pentatonic scale because the pentatonic scales, both minor and major, are very safe. The minor one has a little bit of, it flirts a little bit more with the dissonance, but not enough to make it not safe, which is kind of appropriate for like a mob farm, right? It's like you're harvesting bad guys for their stuff to make you more safe, right? With arrows to shoot back at them and stuff, right? Huh? That makes sense? Hopefully. One note is called a note, or one pitch or one tone. It's just called a pitch or a tone, right? 2 together, 2 notes together, it's called a dyad, right? 3 together is called a triad. 4 or more is a chord. I specifically tied the mob drops to specific notes on the scale because it would emulate commonly dropping dyads and triads, right? Like I showed you with the bones, the arrows, and the bow, or the chain vest or something. Maybe get something like that. All right, let's take a little bit of a break from the mob farm for a bit, or brains don't get fried. That's not gonna work. Boop. Okay, I got my Minecraft furnace. I need coal. So this is either gonna go super swimmingly or it's gonna go miserably. We'll have to just find out. Little update. I put carpet there. I don't know if that does anything at all, but or put the floaty thing like we did at the entrance there. So maybe that'll work, maybe that won't. I might have to make the broken up parts of the wall to the sides a little bit taller, so like a block and a half, so they can't hop and climb over it, and then might be able to lock them in. Cobblestone. Let's make sure that he cannot run away. Let's go 3 tall and something like that. He should walk right into it. Yeah. Ooh. Oh. And then boop. Oh, that kind of motors. Alright. Let's try. No, wrong way! No! Let's try. There we go. Please don't die. Goes up and over and... Oh, he does take fall damage. Uh-oh. No, you're right. Oops. There you go. Go inside. Indoors. Did you just shake your head at me? You two playing nice? You're not dead. You got... Nope. You can stay right in there. Alright. This is the line. I gotta figure out how to make sure that they can't traverse up and around like that. I figured that one out. This is not looking as pretty as it was before, to be honest with you. I'll have to figure it out. And, this too. They don't seem to walk over the rails, so I think it should be okay. But they're hopping around on that, and they're just making a mess, really. Okay. They seem to be asleep. So this is really simple. Not complicated at all. 2 hoppers, boink, and a hopper cart, and then... There. That's all you really need. I guess I'll give you a torch so things don't spawn. This dude has access to this farm here. He'll go and... I don't want to be rude. He'll go and grow stuff. Right? And then he gets full in his inventory. And then he... Boop. You... Ravenous for carrots. You woke up out of bed for that. Right? Then they go in there. And when this dude wakes up, pretty much I'll just block him in with a show. No. Not what I want. I'll just block him in with acacia. Alright, let's get those emeralds in. We can do a little test. Ooh. I have a nasty habit of placing my redstone and my water streams just on any block, like stone, and then breaking them and wondering why my stuff doesn't work anymore. Because I broke redstone. And I also break the block that was holding water, and then the water sweeps away my redstone. And I've become a little anxious about that. With this, even though this is relatively simple, I think it would be a good habit to get into with just color coding my wires for a starter, and taking a block like this that I don't really build with often, and making it putting the redstone in a box. I feel like this is a great block to do that with because, like I said, I don't really build with it. It's tiled, which makes it difficult for me to build with. As a floor, it looks different enough from stone that I won't break that and go, oh, my redstone could be behind that, right? Same goes with wool. But at the same time, it's not as different as something like this. See, this is very, very, very beveled. So it looks like a tile. And just for blocks like that, I like to use as a one-off. Another example is that redstone lamp. That looks tile-like. It's rather than something like the bricks. Well, I guess the bricks kind of are smaller tiles, but this looks flat. It doesn't look like a tile. And this looks very sterile, and it's gray, and it's not like the emerald block or the redstone lamp where it catches your eye and it's a pop of color. And I find it very difficult to work with. So I think that is a good example of something that we can box in the redstone with, just to be safe. With water, unless I'm missing something, it doesn't really travel up, other than like bubble streams, but that's just the items really. The water itself doesn't travel up exactly. So, the blocks to the side of it and below it are the ones that I really care about. Because if I break this and it spreads and it destroys my redstone, that's terrible. But if I break this, the water's not going to spread. I did some testing. It seems to be blue is... I thought maybe doubling down on the blue would have made it difficult for items to be seen in the water stream. But it seems to be that it makes the entire, I guess, what you're looking at, blue. So everything else stands out. I thought maybe orange or something like that, like an additive color, would have dulled the blue, but it was probably one of the worst ones for visibility that I tested. Another one that was pretty good was purple, but I'm not sure why. Magenta didn't work, but purple was really good. The reason why I can't use just a regular glass is because, say I'm trying to build something with glass. I plan to build kind of like a quarter circle kind of window thing right there. So if I use regular glass there and then I use regular glass here, it might be difficult for me, or I have to build with an item that can't pass a current, but I still want to see through it, right? Something like that. I would use glass because that's what glass is, right? It's for seeing through, and it would kind of clog things up, and I would be anxious about breaking that when there's a water stream and it's not a different color specifically. So, what I've decided to do is just regular blue glass. Seems to work the best. So on sides right here, we'll have to use a slab instead because we're going to be using a water stream, right? And then on the top, right, right here, we can color code the streams. And I'm going to use red, even though I was debating this and didn't actually place anything down to see. I don't have silk touch yet. Yeah, I was thinking like we see this carpet when we walk in, but the like Mario color contrast here really. We'll experiment with it. Just to be safe for now, we can do white wool, but we can use wool or concrete. I guess to color code the water streams, like we can color code the redstone streams as well, so we know what the purpose is. Since this is only one mechanism, we're just gonna color code it with the white wool. Hmm. 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 Yeah, that's not as cool as I thought it would be. There's a couple redstone blocks. Basically, it's feeding, anytime there's something in this, it will charge this, feeds in back into this repeater, which feeds into itself, and it'll repeat as long as this thing's on, right? So, if let's actually get an item that would pick up. So, ta-da! I'm not sure if I like the dropper clicking or this water stream. Might have to do something with hoppers. The dropper clicking might also emulate, I guess, the sorting system indicating a trial. Like every click is an attempt to sort something, and then the doot is the proper thing. So if there's a bunch of mobs that fall down, it might sound good. We'll have to wait and see how it sounds. But for now, I'm not exactly the most confident in it. All right. So on top of these 4 hoppers, it's gonna be slabs, and that's where they're gonna squish on. And we're just gonna pillar up 30 blocks from this hopper. So I can make that easier on myself. Instead of having to count, I can just do 30 blocks. Ooh, almost fell. Right, there we go. And 30. At least 30 blocks. Technically, you're supposed to go up a lot higher than that. And this is gonna be fun. Do I risk it? I don't have any levels. Okay. We ladder up. Technically, you're supposed to go 128, and you're supposed to stand up there. That's because mobs don't spawn outside of a 128 block range from your character. I'll have to find a better spot for this ladder. But because of that, you don't really need to light up caves if you just build it way up in the sky, I believe. But the point of this is that we're down there doing things, and it's just accumulating mob drops. It's not for super efficiency, it's not for experience, it's just basically for me to get arrows so I can actually use this really nice bow that I have. So, from here, we can block out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And this will be a water stream. I think 8. We can always test it. I'm doing this from memory, but that just proves how simple this is. If I mess it up, I can just build it a block in. Really, really easy starter mob farm. I'm worried. I'm terrified that I'm actually going to water out my redstone here. So I better be right. Oh, I was. Cool. So 8 blocks, and then we build this up. We can build this up one more, right? And so from here, that's all you really need to remember, right? And then this from here, spruce trapdoors, not spruce, doesn't have to be spruce, right? And then you close them. So for you and I, we're smart enough to look at that and go, that's not a block I can walk on, right? Mobs, not so much. They think that it's like this all the time. So they'll go from this area to over here, right? That they won't be like us, where we can jump. They'll just walk, and then they'll fall into that water, and then they'll be pushed right here, and then they just fall to their death. That simple, right? So where do they spawn is the question. We make 3 more of these, and then just connect them. That's it. And then make it dark. This is not terrifying at all. I ran out of cobblestone. Oh, no. That skeleton has my bow. Ow! Oh, no. I got a shovel. Oh, give me my shield. Bow and a shield? That's so baloney, dude. Ah. I'd like to show you something. So you know how I got this piston thing going, right? I may have accidentally made a twice as efficient cobblestone gen. So, once I flip this lever, it frees up this block for the lava to go. Right? But this is already here. So that's going to take a second to get to that point. It's got to spread down, right? While this is already here. So that spreads down at the same rate. So if I break it in between that one spreading down and then this one spreading to the right, it falls onto the water and interacts with it and makes cobblestone. And then it also spreads from here to the right into the water and makes cobblestone. So this is just regular speed, right? Now if I do this, ta-da! Fall spread. Fall spread. That's what's happening. That's pretty cool. I think, does this make it half or a quarter efficient? Probably half because they have to path. Well, I made it 3 blocks tall, so maybe they don't... Pathing isn't that big of a deal? I don't know. But this is something you can do to make it spider-proof. Hopefully. If I do start seeing spiders, what I did wrong was I made this 3 blocks tall instead of 2. Another nice thing about the size of this farm is that since I'm up here, they can't spawn. Because since it's 18 by 18, and mobs cannot spawn within 24 blocks of you. Bad part is that I forgot to light up below it. Uh-oh. Oh! Oh! It works! So, I know I did have a big tangent on music theory earlier, and it might have felt a little bit lectury, but I don't want anyone to go and take notes or expect homework or anything like that. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to lecture anyone on it. And I feel like when it comes to music theory, people can get really wrapped up in what's right and what's wrong, and I chose very specific words in that tangent. Like not saying that dissonant, not saying that dissonant intervals is bad. It's just abrasive because you could still use dissonant intervals to make music. It might not be as popular, and like I said, you have to be a little bit brave, but that's still okay, right? Music theory is not a set of rules. It's a suggestion, all right? Unless you are extremely dedicated to it as a field of intelligence or science or education, knowledge, whatever. Even then, it's the plate you put all your food on. It's not the food. The food is, everyone's taste varies so drastically that you can't make the perfect dish. Same way that you can't make the perfect song. It doesn't exist, right? So to expect it to be rules rather than a suggestion, you're gonna burn yourself out. So you should just make what you're happy with. Personally, I just gave you another tangent on music theory. I'm realizing, but yeah, I think that's important. We didn't get to explore today, so yeah, next time we'll do a whole bunch of that. I'd like to get the rest of that border done because I think there's a desert around there somewhere because the acacia is nearby, and I think it gets hotter. It's pretty good. Anyways, thank you. Goodbye.